How's it going, everybody? DJ K DuB Omaha, Wired Axcess podcast with the All Axcess Granted.
I didn't want that to be the standard. I didn't want someone else in the room to set the standard. I always wanted to do that.
The journey to get there, I think, is something, that is amazing, Nick.
Let's get this podcast started.
That's right. Welcome to Wired Axcess Podcast, All Axcess Granted. I'm your host, DJ K DuB Omaha. Of course, this is a part of the characterchronicles.com. You can find our podcasts on there, along with all of those other great things that they share on characterchronicles.com. As you know, one of my favorite classes so far, since I've been able to do what I do, is this 2027 class. And today is no different. Before I head out this weekend and head out of the country for the first time in like 30 years, I wanted to get down with another future Husker. And today we have one of the four that are coming out of Grayson High School down in Georgia. Today we got Joey Hunter, the tight end. Joey, welcome to the show.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
You know, I have to ask you because my real name is Kendall. I know I go by DJ, but Kendall is a unique name, so I like it. I don't like when people shorten it. How do you say your real name, and why did you choose Joey? How did that all come together for you?
My real name is Olafemi. My middle name is Josiah, so my parents just started calling me JoJo and Joey from that.
Okay.
So that's what it stuck.
I'm one that like challenges myself, so I was gonna say it, and I'm like, you know what? I just want to hear him say his real name. That way, if anybody needs to know, because yes, we know him as Joey. He represents that Joey name well, but you know they're gonna have to put the full name on the legal stuff when it comes to on ESPN and all that. But man, welcome to the big decision right before your senior year. Of course, you got three other teammates that have also made that jaunt. We'll start out with just down in Georgia. You're at a school that went far into the playoffs this last year. You, of course, have your senior season coming up. You make this big decision. How does that kind of change how you get to do this next year, your senior year down there?
Doesn't really change anything. The standard is still gonna be the standard. Want to go all the way and be great. It just makes me practice harder and makes me like want to get better for the team I'm going to.
And of course, for your teammates, with everybody around you, like, what's the atmosphere like to know that you guys got a couple of you that are going to stay together and obviously make this year, strong together? How does that help not only build things there for Grayson in their future, but then obviously know that momentum from there is going to be coming up here to Nebraska?
It's great. It definitely made it an easier choice, and it makes us like bond closer, even closer than we already were. Just know we're going to the next place together too.
You, of course, growing up with football, but what other sports did you love growing up? And when did your love for football really take effect? Because as many will say, to be a D1 athlete, you've got to love what you do. You got to love what you're about to go do. When did that start for you? And what other sports did you partake in prior to this year?
I played flag football before I played tackle football. I played flag football, basketball, T-ball. My main sports were like basketball and football. And when I was 6, I started playing football. And after like the third year of football, I just realized like I really loved it, and it just never went away.
Did you stick with basketball? And if so, how long did you let that game go for you?
I played basketball after freshman year. I stopped playing basketball to focus on football.
Yeah, and what kind of changed as a freshman that made you go, you know what, I need to cut back? Is it because your school is such a big school? I mean, you guys are what in what division, like 7A or something like that?
7A now. Yeah,
is that because of the amount of kids that are there? Is that correct? Like the size?
Yeah, it's a bunch of kids at our school. I think it's like 4,000 or something like that.
Did that kind of change why you got rid of and kind of push basketball? Because a lot of kids try to do the multiple sports, but there's different things that make it where maybe it's not as easy. Maybe the coaches don't work together. What kind of was your reason to back away from basketball?
Well, I've been playing basketball, but it was really just basketball more so for fun. And then I started playing when I was playing football in high school. I started getting a lot of traction from like different coaches. So I just decided to focus on football. It would be better for me.
Now, as far as your traction starting early for you, what are some of the things that you attribute that to? What's some of the things that you've learned early in your process to be where people find you? And I always say this because people are always worried about the stars. They're worried about this, but if you stick to who you are and what you do, you'll be seen by the right people.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely like freshman year, I went to a whole bunch of camps, had a whole bunch of training, been training ever since. You just got to keep working. Like no matter what, I'm working every week, twice a week, 3 times a week. You got to make sure I keep working. And then that's where I got me here.
And when you're saying working, what's kind of like a schedule like for that extra work? I think sometimes people don't realize that, it's either early super morning or either late at night after practice. Because if you think you can make it just off of your practice that a school provides you or coaches provide you, you're going to have a hard time because everybody else is working just harder than that.
Yeah, for sure. Like tomorrow, I'm going to have practice. I got to go to the Corky Cal Media Day. Then I have training at like 8, the weight training. Sunday, I'm supposed to have early morning, 10 a.m. Routes and catching training. And I have speed training. I have another speed trainer too. So like it's 3 different trainers, different days, but you got to get to work either way. So
you talk about the receiving part, of course, tight end, and especially with Nebraska, has a lot of intricates to it. And what I mean by that is, of course, there's like Luke Lindemeyer, where you're seeing him have success. What are some things that you see or saw that you can bring to Nebraska and continue to build that tight end position to change the school, as Luke and them have already tried for that position?
I feel like I could do all they could do, and I can even try to do better. That's always a goal, to do better than the first guy. But I can definitely block. That's a big part of my game on my film, blocking. Catching, I haven't really got to show it as much last season, but this season will definitely show what I've been working on for sure.
You brought up a good point, and it's obviously not easy, right? Like you're at a position where there's not always guaranteed the limelight, but you can find it in other ways. How have you been able to work amongst your team coaches to keep a level head, to know that your time is still coming? You're still a weapon. You're someone that they have to still account for in that offense, but it doesn't mean that every ball's going your way. You're doing your one part of the 111.
Yeah, it's a good thing to know, because if it's just me, it's got to be a team thing. So I know it could be me, it could be the running back, it could be the receiver. Like we got a whole thing going. It can't just be me. So it's good to know. It's good. I know it can't just be me because we got such a good team.
And of course, with your size, there's creating the mismatches and stuff like that in the red zone. What have you been able to kind of improve on that part for yourself and show that you could be a vertical threat as well?
Definitely getting in and out of my breaks. I've been doing way better at that. And spring ball, didn't lose a one-on-one all spring ball. Winning at safeties, linebackers, all of them. So I think I just proved myself, and I'm gonna prove myself this season too. So
you look at the 7-on-7 realm and how it's really taken off. What's been your experience, and is that something that you've kind of been working on, to where that kind of gives someone like a tight end like yourself, where that blocking is a big key factor in order for you to get to the next level, but this helps you work on those hands and helps you work on those breaks. What's kind of been your 7-on-7 experience?
I've been playing 7-on-7 since like 8th grade. That's like really when it started, like 8th grade. Playing since then, and then I played for like a AAU 7-on-7 team, like just to get some extra work. I've been doing that since freshman year for the summer, and then last year and this year I played for a school team. Went to Georgia twice this year, and went to UNC last year.
Of course, when it comes to the team aspect and the legacy that you guys are going to be leaving, of course, last year you guys fell just short to Carrollton in the playoffs. What's some of the specifics that you guys remember from that you guys are going to be rolling into this year, to not have that taste in your mouth again? Of course, you had a great record. It's not like, you guys were, I think, 12-1 maybe, and lost that last game. What's kind of the atmosphere going into your guys' senior season as a group?
Definitely all the 27s. We felt it. Don't want to feel that ever again. We've definitely been working on discipline the young guys, make sure they with the same standard that we on. Make sure we get to the state where we want to be at.
Of course, when it comes to that team and the aspect, what is some things that you feel these past couple years you guys have done real good in growth, and what's some things that you are now seeing are starting to come together for you guys that coaches have maybe noticed that maybe you didn't do these past couple years?
Wait, can you rephrase the question?
So of course you guys have had some things that maybe haven't went the way that you wanted, whether it was workouts, whether it was the way that you trained, what's some things that you guys and your coaching staff has kind of noticed these past couple of years that you guys are starting to implement maybe something just a little bit different to get you over those humps?
Definitely we've been pushing each other, like the whole team, like even freshman year, older guys always pushing the younger guys trying to push the older guys so we can all stay good. Even last year, like Tyler Axcess was like one of the biggest guys that always pushed me because he knew how good I could be.
Always that iron sharpens iron. They think it's just a cliche, but they don't understand that when you have goals and you have things that you're trying to reach, you have to find those people that are going to push you. You look back at this last year, what was your biggest growth for you personally in the all around game? What was one thing that you felt like you were able to grasp hold and change for the better?
Definitely my blocking. I felt like the early years of my like high school career, my blocking wasn't like up to par, but definitely been working on it, and I worked on it last year, and it showed on the film and stuff like that.
You look back at your recruiting process. You said it started early. What's some of those things and who kind of helped guided you early through the process for you? Because of course, if you're getting recognition early, it can change how you end up playing. How are you able to kind of stay who you are and grow through the process of the early recruiting?
Well, really, it was Coach Carswell, our head coach now. He's been with me he's been with us since 8th grade, and always telling us to keep a level head and make sure like don't get ahead of yourself just because you get an offer here or offer there, because all could be taken away just like this. Like,
Stay committed to the process. As far as your regiment, what's one thing that you feel this year you have to get better at, and then going into college, you're going to continue to progress for yourself? What's one part of your regiment that can or will get better?
Definitely like not in the football aspect, but I definitely just have to start stretching a lot more, because like being stiff after a game, you might not want to get up and stretch early morning, but you got to do it. Like it just makes life a whole lot easier.
Well, especially being 6'6". I mean, you're probably crouching a lot more. You're getting down. What in the offense for your school and then for the Huskers that you see will be very versatile for you to be able to show your height and your strength? Are you looking to be able to play a little bit off the line? Is it more on the line? What's some things that you've been possibly talked to that have shown that you have a possibility to do something big this year and coming up in the future?
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely gonna be in slot. They even put me on the outside, very inside. I play everywhere in the offense this year for sure.
Now, for your school, is it one of those where you guys are pretty much you can only do one position, or is offense the only way that you win? Did you start out early going defense? What made you stick to tight end for you?
At first, freshman year, they had me trying to play lineman, which I didn't understand at first. So I went to like DN for like a month, and then brought me back for tight end. And they really just told me, oh, they're having me play a lineman so I can get like blocking better and get more physical. But I didn't realize that. But I definitely got it over this couple of years. And then I'm playing a little bit of defense this year too, like some third down rush quarterback.
So DN, of course, transferring what you know and what you see people use against you. How are you able to pick up working that part of your game and really taking it to the next level? And is it something where you're only pigeon-toed into coming to Nebraska as a tight end? What if all of a sudden your defensive side turns into that dog that you're looking for? Because I say this because, Noah Fant was a tight end here in Omaha, and he left his school because they only wanted him on defensive end. Gets to Omaha South, gets to play both sides, goes to Iowa as a tight end, now is in the NFL. How dedicated are you on that fact that you're going to allow the process to work for you and have opportunity at both?
Yeah, my main position is definitely still tight end. That's the position I love and playing for the longest. But I definitely if they want me to play both sides, I'll play both sides. I can do what they want me to do.
You, of course, came up for a big visit here in June up to Nebraska. First of all, what'd you think of the weather when you came in here?
I thought it was gonna be cold, colder, but it was definitely hot. It was hot. It wasn't humid like it is down south, but it was hot, 90 degrees.
See, and you got lucky because we normally got those humidity days, and I only say it because I own a lawn company, so we out and about in those. But you did get a good sight of the blessings of just hot. What'd you think of the campus? What was some things that really hit you and made you feel like it was home?
Definitely wasn't just the campus. Campus is everything's almost centered around the facility. Everything is right close, especially what I'm gonna do with business. The business is the business building is 3 minutes away from the facility, and then the freshman stuff is right across from the facility. So everything is real close, and it was easy to get around.
You come up for that day. What was some expectations, or what was some things that you thought it was going to be like, and then what was the actual reality behind it?
I didn't really know what I was getting into because I never I didn't really watch any videos official videos, so I never really knew I was coming in blindfolded. But it was great. It was all the coaching staff, got to meet all the coaching staff. The whole coaching staff was good. Got to learn a whole lot of information about the offense, about the different development of the different players there for the tight ends. And I got to meet some of the players too.
Of course, the 27 class is someone where we've been able to talk to Trey, Tay, Matt. We just had Barrett on last week. And you're seeing this 2027 class. What was some things that you liked? Because I believe, weren't they, some of them also at your visit?
Mm-hmm.
Hanging out there?
Trey and Tay were there because they live there, so they're real close. And then Nehemiah, the Florida D lineman, Jordan, Katie, Eli, a lot of the commits were there. A lot of people committed that weekend too. So,
what did you feel the atmosphere was like? Was it something that made you understand of the commitment that these players are making, and you could see the future build for yourself with these players that are making this strong commitment?
Yeah, for sure. It's they're building something great there. Obviously, it's gonna be great, and we already we got a little group chat with all the commits in it. We got a good bond and everything.
When you look at a quarterback like Trey, who is not only a lot of people go, he's social media, everybody knows him, but the work that he does off the field is something that obviously being the leader and being the quarterback has to be something as a tight end that you go, okay, that's a ride or die. That's a person that's going to have the best interest for what's going on. How much does it just push you to know that this could be your home, and obviously deciding that factor before you decided it?
Yeah, it was definitely a factor because he was one of the guys that was reaching out, trying to get me to get up there. And he's a cool guy. Outside of football, he's a cool guy too. And he's really good football player. So it's gonna be exciting to be able to play with him.
You look at your other teammates across the way that you mentioned, of course, that were on that visit and coming up here. Some committed already prior to your arrival. What was kind of that? Did you guys all fly in together? Did you how was that trip in for you four?
We did all flying together. We were on the same flight except for KD. KD got there early morning, but we were on the same flight, and we were on a flight with Timmy too, the other lineman. And yeah, we all flew together.
You're coming in. What's kind of the feeling? I mean, it's got to be some talk of, okay, here's because what Jordan was already committed, so he's obviously got the insight talking about how he's feeling. What made Nebraska feel like it was a place that you wanted to come visit?
It was a place I want to come visit because they started like my stuff like really picked up, got a lot more offers in spring, and they're one of the main ones reaching out with like my top five. But they're one of the main ones reaching out. A couple different coaches reaching out, and like Jordan, of course, talks highly of them. So I had to see what he was talking about.
Got to see what he's drinking, what Kool-Aid. Of course, you got to talk with the coaching staff. You got Satterfield, you got Williams up here, Mosey, you got Geep. What's some of the things that you really liked about the coaching staff and their conversation with you that made you feel they know that what they want and I'm that guy that they want?
Yeah, definitely. They were doing it since recruiting. They all like were on the same page with me. Want me to get more leaner. They want me to set goals for me like for this season, like what things for me to work on. Like they really want me. That's how it feels.
It's that type of feeling of they believe in you, but they're also giving you some things to work on, which translate into someone that wants you to go beyond where you're at right now and become something. What was some of the skill set that you felt you fit into what their offense is?
I just feel like I could do anything they ask me to do, especially on offense, because that's my strong suit. I feel like I could do anything. I could go for routes. I could block inside, short routes, block on the outside perimeter. I feel like I could do anything.
You look at some of your other offers. How, as a young athlete, and this would go out so others can feel it or know it, how did you distinguish between what you felt was real for you? And everybody's experience is different, but what's some things, no schools needed, but what's some things that you felt was real for you? And what was some things that you almost had a question, was this really in the best interest for me?
Yeah, really, some schools, they might offer you, they might reach out like a good week. You come to visit them spring, they reach out for a couple more days and it just goes dead. And it's something like that. That wouldn't feel real to me. Like the schools in my top five, they're all like, no matter what, they was always reaching out. They kept reaching out. As soon as when they offered me to my commitment, they were reaching out.
And you mentioned those other ones in your top choosing. How was those conversations when you did make the decision? I bring this up because it's always hard for athletes to understand sometimes the importance of keeping those open communications. Life is about relationships over anything else when it comes to this, because you never know when you could cross paths with some of these coaches or people that invested in you. How did those conversations go with you for you, and kind of who gave you some guidelines of how it should go? How did that all come together for you?
My stepdad gave me guidelines on how it should go, but I didn't really get to talk to a lot of the coaches besides mainly the pit coach that I talked to, because he was one of the main ones, like one of the first ones that started recruiting me.
And you brought up, you said your stepdad helped you through that process. What was the conversation for you when you were making this decision with your family? How was it important of location, availability, and opportunity? How was that conversation with your family?
It was like a long conversation. We had like a whole chart with the pros and cons of the different schools. Like they truly wanted the best for me and wanted the best for myself, and they really showed it. So then when we got up there, they wanted to make sure everything was good before I made my decision.
It's never easy, and for someone like myself, I never got to experience it or understand it sometimes, but with the process that I have, like, I've got to know Tommy Armstrong, a former Husker quarterback, where he said his mom only got to see him from high school on maybe 10 times. And he played all the way through Huskers and then some Omaha beef and stuff. And I'm like thinking how crazy that is, where you leave your family and, some people get the luxury of their family always being able to be at every game. How does that change your aspect, and what's kind of been that conversation for you, and understanding that there's going to be somewhere your family's there and somewhere you're going to ride or die with your brothers that are on the field with you?
It was definitely kind of like a hard decision with that because how far it is. But I do have a lot of family that's like only a couple hours away in Kansas City. So, but it's definitely gonna be hard. But you got to do what I got to do for do the best for me. So,
Prior to, of course, your teammates or the offer, what was your knowledge of Husker football? What was your knowledge of Nebraska? What was some things that you knew, and what was some things that kind of took you off guard when you found out?
I didn't really know much. I barely even knew where it was until I got offered. And then except for my stepdad used to tell me some stuff about it because like he seen Jordan commit. He told me some stuff about it before he even got an offer, like how they used to like run the late '90s stuff like that. I didn't really know much really.
You, of course, make the trip up here. What was your final thing that made you go, "This will be my home"?
Definitely like the players. They when they worked out, got to watch them work out. The players were just like together. It was like a big family, like, and they all agreed. They agreed to all of us, like even without anybody having to say anything. They agreed to all of us. It's just like a big family. And, like that's where I want to be at. I want to be somewhere like I would want to be somewhere where I'm not gonna have fun or not gonna like the coaches or whatever. But it's definitely a place where I feel like I love where I'm gonna be at.
Did you make any other visits to any other colleges prior to Nebraska?
Unofficials, but not any officials.
When you look at facilities, how does that also look to a young athlete like yourself at all the stuff that, of course, the Huskers have going on when you look at the unofficials that you got to visit? Because I'm sure you've seen some of theirs. How does that fare up when you look at facility versus facilities?
Nebraska definitely, like, without a doubt, has the best facility I've seen, like, through all my visits. Like, the Georgia, Tennessee, Florida State. The only one that would be kind of close was, like, Florida State, but it's still, like, Nebraska is definitely got, like, the best out of all of them.
You look at what Coach Rhule is doing, and you look at the ups and downs that the Nebraska's had lately. What was kind of the message that you took from, possibly in a meeting or whatever they've talked to you, but what did you take from the whole visit that you said, Rule is the one that I feel we can follow behind, and I'm committing to him.
Yeah, for sure. Coach Rhule, as soon as he got there, the like the record it changed, and it's been going up in a bunch of different areas. The academic areas went up. The injuries went down. Like everything's been going better with him there. Everything is going to be getting better and better as time goes on, for sure.
I like hearing that because so I coached high school football, and like once you coach, like your mind changes on what success is. And especially in this day and age, like everybody thinks you got to be in Alabama. I'm sorry, there's only one Alabama, just like there's only one 90s Huskers, right? Like obviously, they won their championships. You can't relive it. It's about what are they doing now to show that they can be successful. We do want to give a shout out and greatly appreciate anybody that watches, but this is from I believe your grandparents here. We're so proud of my grandson. He has shown us what hard work will do for you.
Mm-hmm.
You see those types of messages, and of course you hear them, right? Like, but what does it mean for you to also be representing your family and everything that you do from here on out when it comes to the sports world?
It definitely means a lot. I've had a great support system like through all my football career. And I just want to make sure like I show up for them, not just for me.
It changes the aspect when you think of the name across the front and across the back. What is the legacy that you feel the 2027 class for Grayson football is going to leave when you guys are done this year?
I feel like we definitely got like one of the best classes. Like some like might not have all like the high ranked 5-star, 4-star, but we definitely have like one of the biggest classes, and we have one of the best classes. And I definitely feel like we're gonna have a lot of legacy and like a lot of wisdom, like to give on to the 28s to 29s, 2030s.
When you look across for your school, why do you think some of your elite athletes are choosing Nebraska? What's kind of been the connection for Grayson High School and Nebraska? Like you said, a long distance. It's not always guaranteed. You're taking a big risk to move up here. What's been the thing that you think has connected Nebraska and you guys?
I'm not really sure. Like it was just like when you go up there, I just feel like everybody loves it. The whole coaching staff, like the family aspect, like everything about it is just great. And it's just something they probably haven't seen at all the other schools. So it's probably what made them choose it.
Feeling the realness and the honesty is what it's about, and hopefully that's what you guys are feeling, especially from making a big decision. You look at what you do on the field and the workout. What's who's Joey off the field? What's some of the things that keep you from never getting burnt out from having to do those workouts, from having to do the sport that you love, but still keeping yourself sane? What's Joey's go to?
Um, I get on the game sometimes, and if I'm not in the game or working out, usually just be sleep.
Getting that rest up.
Yeah, for sure.
What's in the game? What's the sticks? What are you playing?
I played like one game I play a lot is I play one fighting game. It's been out for like 10 years, but it's like a Dragon Ball game. It's an anime game. Playing it for like forever. It's just fun. Like it never gets old. They keep updating the game, and I'm gonna keep playing it. And they coming out with a new one too.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. Just make sure when you're down in Lincoln, pick up those sticks. Always good when the teammates get together.
Yes, sir.
When you think of football, we all know that time is what time is. You talked about business. What's going to be life beyond football for you? What's one of the goals and things that you're kind of setting yourself up for in order to also keep yourself understanding that the future is something you're building? It's not something that you're just given.
Yeah, I'm not all the way sure what I want to do like career yet. I just know I want to do something with business, marketing, like manage something, make sure like keep my family good and make money for like my family and whatever I need, whatever they need.
You of course brought up Kansas City. You know that family's that close, and of course Nebraska got to play in Arrowhead last year. That's pretty fun and different. What do you think is going to be the hardest thing for you to be up this far from them? I believe obviously with technology nowadays, it does make it a little simpler. And I say this out of my own experience. It's not easy because my daughter's in Ohio and that's the furthest anybody's ever been away from us. What's kind of the thing that will keep you kind of being able to have this distance, but still know that family's right behind you?
Definitely my mom. My mom's always gonna reach out, and no matter what, I go away. Like I go somewhere not even that far, a couple hours, 30 minutes. She's always gonna reach out, so I know I'm always gonna be able to reach out with my family and get calls in, texts in, and then there's always family like a couple hours away. So it's far, but it's close.
When you look at your regiment for catching and stuff, who's someone that you kind of, when you think of tight end, who's someone you look up to, and who's kind of been someone that you've kind of idolized parts of your game from, but still creating the Joey Hunter way?
Definitely like I used to love like Travis Kelce because like I love the Chiefs, Travis Kelce and like George Kittle because like they've been like the best of what they do for a while, and Gronk too. Like when Gronk was in the NFL, it was just fun to watch. I love watching them. Definitely like physical, running through people's face, blocking everybody. Like it's just dogs.
Never afraid. When you look at yourself, challenging yourself and always looking to go up against the best, of course, the Big Ten's pretty hefty. What's the meaning betting on yourself mean for you when it comes to playing the top tier conference opponents and stuff like that?
Yeah, I'm for sure definitely betting on myself because I want to play the high competition. I don't want to play I don't want to play low division, low D2, D1. I want to play like the best of the best. And Big Ten's been best for a couple years. They've been definitely going up. There's like Big Ten, SEC, hand in hand.
When you think to early, Joey, and you're thinking of college, who was always on top of your list that you felt comfortable as far as a place prior to any offers? Like if you didn't have nothing around you, what was the college that you were hoping you were going to go to?
Probably Georgia because like Georgia was my favorite team, it was my favorite team since like I was like 9. So probably Georgia.
Have you been to any of those games out there?
I mean, I went to a Georgia versus Texas game last year.
What was that atmosphere like for you? And what has people told you about a Husker game experience that you're going to hopefully get to come out and experience this fall?
Yeah, it was a good experience at Georgia. But I heard like a whole lot. Like I heard the whole stadium hasn't been a game hasn't been not sold out since 1962 or something crazy like that. And then coaches tell me like they'll all line up, like it's like a big walkway that all line up. It'll be like thousands of people everywhere. Like I just know,
dude, that's just walking into the stadium. Like it's not even you walk. Like you're walking with you're just in your jumpsuit and your bag. You're not even pads, nothing, and everybody is lined up right there waiting for you to get in there. And then, of course, you probably walked the same route that they would walk out onto the field. What do you think of kind of that red carpet and kind of that atmosphere between the locker room and the stadium?
Yeah, it's definitely cool. I just imagine myself walking out on the red carpet, going out in front of the right in front of the stadium. Stadium's huge too.
Did they play any of the music or anything to kind of give you the feel? Because like, see, I'm talking about it and I know you can't see it, but like, dude, my hair and like I'm like my hair is on my arm. Like, I just think about it and it just makes me go that way.
Yeah, we got to walk on the red carpet in the locker room, but we didn't get to like walk all the way out. Didn't have any music for us, but I can tell.
They got to give you that experience, you know, give you a little bit of what it's like to hear all that noise out there. Now, you know, you look at this year, your senior season, and, you know, some people worry about when they're going to get to college. Are you looking to come in early in March? Are you going to graduate on regular time and come up here during the summer?
Yeah, definitely. I'm graduating early, January. Someone should be there like middle of January, March, February, anytime early. I'm definitely graduating December though.
How did that part come for you to be a big decision on that part? Because it's not easy to go, hey, I'm going to graduate early. What did you have to adjust to make sure, or has that always been the plan since freshman year to know that that was the goal? Because it isn't something that can just happen like this. You have to have your ducks in a row.
Yeah, definitely. I had to take a summer class this year. I had to take my econ class, and I'm doing dual enrollment this year too.
Doing a lot of the extras, doing the work. What do you think is going to be the hardest part of that process? And how are you able to keep yourself highly motivated on the school side? It's not easy. It's not something that is a given. What's some of the things that keep you motivated and moving right in the school side?
Definitely my parents always push me to do school. Like I always say, student athlete, school first. But like, if I don't do school, I can't play football, and I love football. So
simple, man. It like, you know, parents out there, if you're watching, please understand it is very, very helpful to young, especially men, but young adults when they're looking for something that you know that they love. It's not about threatening them that you're gonna take it away. It's letting them know what actions they do will take it away. And I think if you could distinguish that, and I say it out of like even myself, like I remember when I was young and I had a cigarette and my parents go, do you want to smoke a cigarette or a car? And I said, easy, car. And here I am 40 years later and I got, you know, a car. I don't smoke. But like sometimes people don't realize how easy to get your young child or a young adult to understand what success can be. They think that they got to threaten them with being grounded, being this. But if you just let them know what's the one thing you love and you say football, they go, well, if you want to play anywhere besides here, this is the things you got to do. And then do you remember when that really hit for you and when you started turning that up for yourself?
definitely last season, because I was kind of struggling towards the middle of the season. My parents is like definitely told me to pick it up. Say if you don't do schoolwork, they're not gonna let you into college for free. So not gonna let you get into college for free. Not gonna let you play football at college like that. So
say those 4 letters again. Free, right?
free.
It's that exact, like, it's that smart of parents to be able to instill that in their kids to understand what it means. We'll go ahead and show this one here. I think I asked, but we'll get it here. Someone says, "What's the biggest personal goal for your senior season? Go Big Joe, Big Kane 24."
Biggest goal, probably like I want at least 10 touchdowns because definitely in my offense this year, it's been looking like I'm gonna be like the focal point, and I trust my quarterbacks to give me balls like that. And definitely, the biggest goal is always like we're gonna win state. That's always the biggest goal. So
I like it. I like it. Of course, we'll share this one as well. This is a big step, but only the beginning for Joey. He's incredible. Marley Jones 4896. You know, it's the support. And we'll go back. Your family wrote one more time. We'll make sure to share it out there. We definitely will be showing up. One thing about the family is we are strong at supporting each other, and you know those are things that are going to be extremely important with the distance. And when you're looking, what's the thing that you think Husker Nation should really know about Joey and the opportunity that you have coming forth?
that they're gonna be getting a hard worker, definitely some high energy from me, and I'm gonna do my best no matter what. So
You look at all your workouts, you look at all the things. Who's some of the coaches that you have instilled in and trusted in with the process that you've been going through that has kind of really stepped your game up to know that you're where you're supposed to be as it's earned, not given? Who's some of those guys that have helped you obtain where you're at right now?
definitely Coach Carswell, definitely Coach B is my tight end coach, and definitely like all the coaches I train with, they always believe in me. Like I've been training with them since like freshman, sophomore year, and they always believed in me, like even before any of the offers anything.
As far as your favorite travel, you said you played some 7-on-7. What's been your favorite place to go and play so far? You of course talked about doing it for your school the past two times. Where's your favorite place to travel?
Um, UNC was like the best, like the most fun place to travel to. Like with all my teammates, it was definitely like the most fun place.
Well, Joey, what I appreciate is one, your time. I appreciate the fact that you're going to be a future Husker and you're along with this 2027 class. What's kind of the motto for your school team this year that you guys are, every team has that motto. What's been yours that you guys are going to live by this year for Grayson?
I don't really think like we have like a motto, but
You don't have like those shirts where everybody's wearing the same thing, or like with the saying on it. There's no saying for the Grayson Rams this year.
for the G for sure, for the G.
For the G. Well, that's a good message to make sure that everybody understands that Grayson Rams are coming for that championship. Don't sell them short. But also in the future, we have, a future Husker coming up here. And we appreciate you taking the time to share your story so those Husker Nation fans out there can most definitely get to know you just a little bit more as we watch you come up here with a group of four that, I think is going to be something special because one, you guys already have that bond, you already have the teamwork, but you also know that you have to work your butts off in order to be successful. And that's what it takes is a group that believes in each other and knows that it's one common goal. And I think that's what we're seeing change with the Huskers currently, with everything that Matt Rhule and his coaching staff is doing. And it's not easy for those fans out there that think that you could just change things around. There's a lot of things that are going on behind the doors that we don't know, and that's okay. It's about letting these guys tell their story that's in front of you and what's going to be coming. I greatly appreciate you, Joey, and we can't wait to see you when you get up here. Just always remember, man, anytime you walk around with Husker stuff, no matter where you're at, when you hear someone yell, "Go Big Red," you just go ahead and match it one more time right after them. I hope they've taught you that chant. because I can go on a cruise. I can do anything. And if I hear someone say Nebraska, oh, go Big Red, I'm yelling. I'm letting them know where we're from.
Yes, sir.
So make sure to represent, and we'll be watching you from a distance. And I can't wait to see what this 2027 class. And don't get me wrong, the classes before them are doing the right things. They're starting to move. But when you have a whole class that's buying into each other and following each other and making sure to promote each other and show what success can happen with the group coming together, it's going to be scary. It's going to be scary. Remember, this show, as always, can be found on CarrickerChronicles.com. We appreciate Adam Carricker, former Husker and former NFL player, for allowing us to do what we do on his platform. And then, of course, we cannot do what we do with the StreamYard without the Omaha Beef. Once again, they're preparing for the 2027 season as they just finished up their 2026 season. They did start out 0-5, but boom, racked off 6 wins, got to the semis, lost to the champion in the semis. But you know what I'll do with them as well, do the live podcast with them. Make sure to tune in anytime that we're going live. And always remember, Wired Axcess, if we could reach one fan, one student, one parent with the message from these athletes and the process that they have went through and what it takes to be a D1 athlete, then we've done our job. And I hope that you like, share, follow, and do all that. Until next time, we'll see you. Once again, go Big Red. Thanks, Joey.
The standard is the standard. We set the standard.
All right. Thank you again, my guy.